I have been gone for a week and I apologize. I was in Vegas at the VDTA SDTA show. It was amazing. I met so many new people. It was absolutely amazing. I loved every moment of it. I will be streaming now for about a week. I'm going to be heading back down to my US address, doing some work down there for about a week. So I will be streaming almost every day now for the next week. I think I have to take Thursday off, but I will get a schedule together either tomorrow or Monday and get that up so you can know when I'm going to stream and what I'm going to be working on. For today, I'm working on the stained glass link quilt. The stained glass link quilt was a special quilt that we made for MagFest for a raffle. It was amazing. It was wonderful. We had a really great reception to it, and I said that that was a unique, one-of-a-kind quilt. It still is. This is not going to the public. I'm making another quilt for Nicole, my amazing business partner. She does all of the designs for my quilts. She does all of the layout, the graphic design, all sorts of that stuff. And I couldn't do what I do without her. So this is a gift for her to say thank you, I love you, thanks for putting up with me and being my business partner. So I am going to be changing it just a little bit from the one that I made for MagFest, so they'll both be original, unique, just similar. And then I'm probably not going to make this one again. So today's stream, I'm going to walk you through the first couple steps of the stained glass quilt with how I make it, what I do. Step one, you do the design. So Nicole drew all this out, designed it, and sent me the file. I then went to Staples, had them printed out onto drafting paper, blown up. So this is the size of my quilt. My quilt's going to be this big. Then after I have this, the next step is to hang it up in a window and then put your fabric over top of it and trace it. Hence the camera over here. I've changed the camera angles because I am not going to do any actual sewing for this stream. So I'm just going to be using my ironing board and my cutting table. So over here on the ironing board, you can see part of the design. I used my lovely Fons and Porter chalk pencil in order to now then trace over these images. So I hung this up just like this into the window, and I hung this over top of it, and I just completely traced around it. So that was step number one. Step number two, I now need to transfer all of this to my applique paper. So first thing I did is, you notice all of the little letters and numbers. So BR11, so that's brown piece 11. So I actually wrote them on the back, that way I don't have to keep flipping it back and forth to see what piece it is whenever I'm writing it on there. And I know you can just see the letters and numbers right here, if you can even see them, but you'll see why whenever I start working with the light box itself. So that's the next step. Then I had to get my applique paper. So this is my new favorite applique paper. It is made by Heat and Bond. If you were watching the stream for the bumper pads for Canada Robotics, I actually used a little bit of this on there. This is a brand new product from Heat and Bond. It came out in December. I met with the Heat and Bond people in Houston, and they gave me some samples, and I played around with it, and I fell in love with it. So, bought a whole bolt of it. I love this stuff, so I will probably continue buying this. This is a sewable. It is the Ultra. So it is the, it's a super, super nice hold on here, and it's super light. So it's the soft stretch. So they made this with cosplayers in mind. So they actually thought of cosplayers whenever they did this, because you don't, when you're using an applique paper, you don't want a super, super strong, stiff bond between the two. So this allows us to have a much more flexible, nicer bond. So I've got my applique paper. So I'm going to set that aside for right now. I'm actually going to set it right over here, because then I'm going to get my light table set up. So I got this light box from Famore when I was in Houston, and that's, if you look at the logo that's on this stream, it's the Famore there. That way you can find where I actually bought this. I had a light box before for a couple of years. It was the old thick clunky ones. It was about this big, about that thick, so it was always falling off. Yeah, so it was a bit clunky, and I needed a new one, and I saw Famore in Houston, and I went, I'm in love. This is fantastic. And I bought my wonderful light box. It's fantastic. It's made by Daylight. Famore does carry 2 different sizes of this. This is the larger one, and I believe you can, see them on their website. So if you pop over to their website, you can see all the different ones. So let's get this set up. So I'm going to plug this in. Now, after I've got it plugged in, this little power button is touch sensitive. So once you hit the power, it comes on. It's also, and as you see, I can touch it, I can do all sorts of things. My favorite part of this, it's indestructible. If I drop it, if I bang it, it's the Daylight and the Famore guys love demoing this because they can take it and stomp on it and throw it, and it's, ask them to demo it. It's fantastic. It's fun. Let's say if this is too bright, I can actually hold the power button and it'll change the dimness of it. So until it goes all the way out. So, oh, and there we go. And I'm going to go all the way up. So I like it super bright. I like it all the way up when I'm working with my stuff. But it is, yeah, it's a fantastic light box. So let's get started. Now, whenever you are working with applique and you're using a light box, and especially a piece this big, you need to have a plan because you don't want to miss anything. So I don't have any marks on here, but what I'm going to do is find my pen, and as I'm going through and I'm shifting and moving it, I'm just going to mark off, just do a quick little mark because I don't plan on using this one again. It can be a one-time thing. After I do my little marks, let's say if I do want to do it again. So let's say if my mark is just a little line like that. Okay, the next time I do it, my mark may be like that down the center. So, and then you can just, you can do different marks if you use the same pattern over and over, but it's important that you do keep track of the ones that that you trace over into the paper. So my plan is I'm going to start from my bottom. As I'm looking at the backwards, I'm going to start with the bottom right. Oops. That is the only problem with this light box. It is touch sensitive and heat sensitive. So I accidentally touched the power button. There we go. So I just have to make sure I keep my hands away from this little area right here to turn it off. All right, so I'm starting with the bottom right of my page. Now, whenever I opened up the box with my Heat and Bond applique paper, I accidentally cut a hole in there. I took my my box cutter. So whenever I'm doing my tracing, I've just got to be very careful that I don't do any pieces right there. So let's do these 3 here. Now, before I said I used my chalk pencil, my Fons and Porter chalk pencil to do this. You don't want to use a chalk pencil for this one. That's obviously white on white. You're not going to see it. So there's 2 options that you can do. You can use a pencil or you can use a pen. You're peeling this part off. It's not going to be on the quilt. It doesn't make a difference. So I am going to use my same pen that I'm going to do my marks for. So now what I'm doing is my lines right here. I'm just going to draw them right along the edges. Now, why, I forgot, I just remembered, why is this flipped over? Why do I have to trace this flipped over this way instead of right way up? Because these pieces are backwards. So the paper, the sticky paper is on this side here. So I'm going to be taking this and I'm going to be peeling off my paper. So I'm going to be flipping it over. And so my fabric is going to be going onto here. So I'm going to iron it onto my fabric, peel this off, flip it over, and put it onto my black fabric. So if I'm doing that, then it's actually going to be reversed. So I have to use the light box in order to see the opposite side of here to reverse it. So let's go back here. I moved this paper as I was talking. So let's line this up again. Great. And I'm just going to trace. Now, you notice how my lines are not pretty. They're not perfect. That's fine. Whenever you use your scissors and you cut it out, you'll fix it. So this is GR28. You notice how I can see it right through there? You probably can't pick it up on the camera, but I can see right through. And it's super easy for me to write that in there. Okay. And this is all I am doing for the next step. So if you're watching me on YouTube, this is all I'm going to be doing for a while. Lights, green, 30. And the names that I gave them were depend upon the colors. So the light green color I called LTGR. The green color I called GR. Okay, this one is GR29. Now my slit is right here, so I've just got to be aware of that slit as I work on this. Okay, this is GR34, and I can't do that one because it's too small, but I can do this one. Hey, Marley, stop. I swear he only barks at the cat whenever I'm live streaming. Someone made a suggestion to me, because I do have a couple of dogs and I have a cat, that maybe I should add a third camera in here as the kitty dog camera. So I'm thinking about that. I may get another camera and do that. So you can keep an eye on my my cat or my dogs anytime you want. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've traced 5. So I'm going to do my little mark. And make it big. That way it's noticeable while because I'm marking again, because number 1, I don't want to double mark. I don't want to double trace these. Number 2, I don't want to forget one. Okay, so I've got to be aware of my slit there. So let me do this. You know what? I'm just going to take my scissors and cut all the way across. So these are my yucky paper scissors. And then that way it's also a little bit more manageable while I'm tracing. So let me set that aside, set the scissors aside. Great. So I've got those, so I need this one. I'm going to do here. Now there are some people that as they're tracing, they find all of that color and they trace all of that color at one time. Okay. I personally like to work in an area. So I want to do all of the things within a certain area that I can. Okay. guess for me it's just easier that way. Alright, I can't fit that big one in there. Now I do have a couple of leftover pieces from when I made the Robotics Canada, the bumpers for that robot. So, let's see, will that fit? Yes, it will. Great. I do not like waste. So, oops, I almost traced it on the wrong side. Make sure you trace it on the smooth side. That sticky side is where you're going to be attaching it to your fabric. And I said it before, but I'll say it again. This technique is applique. Whenever you are taking one piece of fabric and you're attaching it on top of another piece of fabric. Okay, green 30. All right, so I have, oops, let me see if I can fit this one. Oh, look at that. Fantastic. I can't fit in here. Okay, light green 32. And mark that off. Okay. So, shift the paper. Okay, I haven't done any of those yet. I'm going to take these other pieces and stick them over there so I don't lose them. Okay, this is light green 28. Okay, don't think I can fit that big one on here. Nope. Alright, what about this one? Yes, I can. Nope, I can't. Okay. No, can't fit it on there. Oh, I can fit it on here. And this is also why you save all of your scraps from past projects. This isn't big enough. Alright, I'm going to skip that one for now. Move on over here. Six. Okay. Yeah, no, I know today's stream was a little boring. Oh, here's some small pieces here. Let's hit the small pieces in here. Okay. Can I? No, there's no more little pieces. So I don't think I can fit any more little pieces on this one, so I'm going to set this one aside. Okay, so I've got those two. I still have to do these triangles here. Let's see if I can fit them on here. No, that's a little too tight. $3.23. Chat is super slow today too. You know, it is Saturday morning. And I normally stream in the evenings. My stepdaughter has a ringette game tonight, so I won't be able to stream. So just like a puzzle piece, you can use your applique paper to get as much as you can into the spaces. I didn't used to write the letters and numbers on the back. I used to just have to flip it back and forth or sometimes guess. And a lot of times I would reverse them. So like 6s become 9s, 3s, you know, are so close to become 8s. Sometimes I get the letters wrong. So that when I rewrote it on the other side, it actually makes it so much easier. Oh, here's a super long piece. Move this up. Now I still have to do 24 and 25. I've skipped those, but I'm gonna get to these other pieces here. There we go. While I have the space. Okay, so brown 12, green 22. And I can fit brown 13 on here too. Oh, can I fit that little one? Yeah, I can fit that little one in there. It's the little things in life that make you happy. Like being able to take a small applique piece and fit it in where you need it. Okay. Alright, so these have a lot of small pieces. So what I'm going to do, because I still have to get to these two big ones here, and I don't want to forget them as I move on. You know what? I'm going to shift this. I'm going to take care of some of these smaller pieces around there. This one. I don't know if you've noticed, but whenever I'm going around these corners, they may be sharp corners on here, but I'm rounding them as I go around. And that's just going to make my sewing easier later if I make the corners rounded. Yes. I think I can fit, nope, I can't fit that piece in there. But I can fit a bunch of these small ones. And the different ways to, the different orders to draw them depend upon what you prefer. If you prefer everything organized and in an area, you find all of that color and you draw it all at the same time. If you prefer to just draw as you go for certain areas, that's what I'm doing. And then as I cut them up, I will group them into their colors. Alright. I think this, oh, you know, I can fit another one right here. Okay. Alright, so that one is full. BR9, where are you? There we go. Mark that off. Okay. I can probably fit GR33. Yep, I can. There. Okay. I can't fit 34 in any of my pieces I currently have. No. Okay. So I'm going to set all those aside because I don't want to get too far ahead like I said before. I don't want to forget 24 and 25 and then a bunch of the things down here. So let me get my applique paper and I'm going to find where the next cut is, which is right here. And I'm going to trim it. Alright, where did I set down my paper scissors? Alright, paper scissors, where'd you go? You don't want to dull out one of my fabric scissors. There. I bet they fell someplace. Move. Oh, there they are. I set them on the chair behind me. That was silly. Okay. Why would past Tony put paper scissors on a chair? And I'm cutting it in pieces like this for two reasons. Reason number one is it's more convenient to work with a smaller piece. Reason number two is I have those cuts and I really don't want to have to deal with that on top of my fabrics. So here's my new piece. So let's start with the 25. Alright, look at that. And make my corners rounded. Okay, there's 25. Four. Okay, that tan 4 is a pretty big piece, so let me do that one next. Whenever I get a new sheet of applique paper, I always try to get the big pieces I'm working with done first. You can always try to fit those littler pieces in, but it's harder to fit those big pieces. And let's get the other brown piece in here. I'm also making sure whenever I'm drawing these lines, that they're not overlapping. I want to make sure they have plenty of room so I can cut between them, because that's going to be the next step, is cutting them up. Okay, all the way at the end. I'm going to move my light box down a little bit. There we go. Okay. That. Okay, corners. Oops. There we go. So light green. Now you notice since I've started tracing, I haven't accidentally turned the light box off once. So it's something that is ingrained into me. Even though I hit it by accident when I first started, I know to stay away from that corner. So it's really not that hard to stay away from it. I would rather have the convenience of the tapping to dim the brightness if I needed it. Okay, so let's mark that one and that one. Go. As I'm doing this, it's super easy for me to go back and look and see which ones I've done and which ones I haven't because of those marks. first time I made a stained glass quilt with the applique like this. I drew a couple extra pieces and I forgot a couple. Great. Alright, so that's everything along the bottom. Alright, I've got a couple of other pieces in here I didn't get to yet. I can't fit that little piece in there, can I? Nope. Let's see, fit it right here. Soleil, stop.
Hey,
Soleil, hey, stop it.
They're playing?
They were. Soleil and Marley were playing together. They were having fun. And they weren't making a ton of noise. They were being good while they're doing it. Alright, so got that little piece there. Great. Got that piece in there. Oops, I still need to get this piece here. Nope. I'll do it along here. Okay, and I've got all of the ones in the middle on the bottom. Alright, so now I'm going to move all of those there if I need them. I'm going to move my light box down a little bit so I can shift this. There we go. Okay. I really like how this light box turns up on the camera. It's it really is that bright, and I like it a lot better than my old generic one. Daylight makes some really great products. Soleil, stop. The dogs are playing again.
Go back, guys. Where's Alfred?
In his bed.
No, he's not there.
Oh, okay. $14. Green 12. I almost forgot to label that one. GR12. Can't forget to mark them off that I've traced them. Oh, unable to connect to chat. That's really strange. Mike?